Hello, friends. George Lamb here, and I tell you, I've had this Tesla Model 3 now for a little over 2 months, and I have yet to do a road trip. And I'm driving about 850, 900 miles to my mother's house in Alabama from Virginia. And I just did my first supercharging experience. Now, I was kind of a little bit of anxiety associated with this trip. I've been looking forward to this trip for about a month or so when I planned it. And by myself, I'm not with my family. So I was like, I'm really going to see what it's like to do a road trip in this Model 3 for the first time by myself. So if things don't go smoothly, I don't have to stress about, oh, what does the kid think? What does the wife think? You know, you okay? And I don't need that stress. I don't need that. Much better handling that crisis on my own if there was a crisis. So far, it's been pretty smooth. I did my first supercharging. I did it in North Carolina in Fayetteville, and I'll tell you what, it went really nicely, except for one thing. The first supercharger I went to, supercharger number 2B, it wasn't working. I was like, what am I doing wrong? What could this be? I cannot believe. Am I supposed to pay somewhere? Is there like a central point, like when I pay for it, airports are like that too, and parking garages where you go to like, okay, 2B. I was thinking 2B. I'm going to go and pay this with my credit card, pay for this charging, because it's not free for the Model 3s, at least not for mine. But had that all for. I'm trying to figure out. I didn't see where to pay, and I was like, it's not charging. I'm clicking start charging on my app, and it's not going. Well, what happened was it wasn't seated properly in the port. There's something wrong charger. It just didn't seat well in the port. So I just went to a different charger, and it started charging like a champ. I was down had about 30 miles left in my charge that I had, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna plug this in. It's gonna be probably an hour for it to charge up, but you know what? It shot up like 200 miles in like 20 minutes or something like that. It was like really quick. Like I went into the Cracker Barrel right across the street, and I used the bathroom, did number one, and right when I was sitting down to put my order in, and I just like looked at my app, I was like, dang, I'm already at like 150 miles, I think it was, and that was like maybe 10 minutes or so. So it's incredibly fast. I'm like, man, at this rate, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to unplug this thing and come back in and finish my meal. But something I remember this later, and when I actually witnessed it, what happened is when it got to about 250 mile charge, and there's still like 60 miles to go to get a full charge technically, but it slowed down a lot. Like it went down to like a mile every minute or two or whatever, instead of 10 miles a minute or whatever it was. So it slowed down a lot. So it kind of helped my anxiety there. But it was nice. It's nice just plugging that thing in. I thought it was going to be, that was the part of the trip I was kind of worried about. And I tell you, I was using a couple of different apps that was in the forums and stuff. I asked this question. I was like, how do you plan these trips? Do you have to find the chargers and plan it out before you even get in the car? Or is it something that the GPS will automatically do when you put in your address for navigation? And I played around with both, the first one just in case, and I was like, what if there's no Tesla supercharger? Because there's a lot of chargers out there as for many kinds of EVs, electric vehicles, that you can plug a Tesla into, but you might need a cable. They might just have the outlet there and not the cable. So one guy suggested I buy a certain cable, so I bought that cable just to have it in my frunk, in case I need it. So I was like, okay, I was kind of prepared, kind of anxious. But I tell you, I plugged in the address in my GPS in the car, and it's automatically says, this is where you need to supercharge. This is how much battery you'll have when you get to that supercharger. So it really does take the anxiety out of it a bit. I know there's not as many superchargers like in the southeast of America as there is like in maybe California or out west, where this is a more common vehicle, but there are superchargers, and when there aren't superchargers, there are other types of outlets and chargers that you can go to, and there are a couple of apps like Plug Share, and there's another one that I have as well. But been pretty good so far, very smooth. And I was really reluctant to drive this in other long trips, just because of the charging. So it's not too bad. So I will call it an end here. I can't really think of anything else that really was a concern to me that I haven't addressed yet in this video. But for people like me, that's like, okay, I want to do a long trip in my Model 3, but I don't know exactly what to expect. This is what I'm experiencing right now. So have a good one, and I'll tell you what, if you have any questions, just drop it in the comments. All right, bye-bye.